Why does a divide exist between the Afro-Caribbean and Indo-Caribbean communities? Is it deeply entwined with the historical caste system, or is it fueled by underlying anti-Black sentiments? In this exploration, we delve into the intricate web of cultural, historical, and social factors shaping these complex relationships. The caste system, a deeply entrenched social stratification in India, was inadvertently exported to the Caribbean with the arrival of Indian indentured servants in the 19th century. This system divided people into hierarchical groups based on occupation and family lineage, creating a rigid societal structure that impacted every aspect of life. In the Caribbean, the caste system intersected with existing racial dynamics, particularly the anti-Black sentiment. While the caste system did not directly translate into the Caribbean context, its underlying principles of social hierarchy influenced interactions between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities. This interplay of caste and race created a unique socio-cultural milieu, where the legacy of colonialism and the imported caste system coalesced to shape attitudes and behaviors. On their arrival in the Caribbean, the indentured laborers found themselves in a vastly different social and economic environment. The plantation system in the Caribbean did not recognize the intricacies of the caste system. All laborers, regardless of their caste in India, were subjected to similar working conditions and societal status. This led to a dilution of the traditional caste distinctions. However, some aspects of the caste system, such as endogamy, marrying within one's caste, religious practices, and social gatherings persisted among the Indo-Caribbean population. This adherence to caste-based practices in a new context led to a unique cultural blend, where traditional Indian customs were maintained alongside adaptations to Caribbean life. Furthermore, the caste system's influence extended beyond the Indo-Caribbean community, subtly impacting the broader Caribbean societal structure. The caste consciousness brought by the Indo-Caribbean people interacted with the existing societal hierarchies, including those based on race and the legacy of African slavery. This intersection played a role in shaping the social dynamics between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities, with each group navigating its unique historical and cultural legacy in the shared space of the Caribbean. The persistence of caste-related ideologies among Indo-Caribbean communities, coupled with the historical context of slavery and colonialism affecting Afro-Caribbean populations, led to a complex web of social relations. This historical backdrop set the stage for both cooperation and conflict between these communities, with anti-Blackness emerging as a significant facet of these interactions, as seen in countries like Trinidad and Tobago. The cultural differences between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities, while enriching the Caribbean tapestry, can also be sources of misunderstandings and conflict. At the root of these issues are contrasting histories, social practices, and belief systems. Both cultures place a strong emphasis on family and community, but the ways they celebrate and come together can differ significantly, reflecting their distinct historical journeys. While the Indo-Caribbean community may focus on religious and familial ceremonies, the Afro-Caribbean community often emphasizes communal celebrations that are open and inclusive, fostering a sense of collective identity and belonging. For the Indo-Caribbean community, with traditions rooted in South Asian culture, practices such as arranged marriages, religious rituals, and dietary customs like vegetarianism are integral. These practices, unfamiliar or even alien to the Afro-Caribbean community, can lead to misconceptions and stereotypes. Conversely, the Afro-Caribbean culture, deeply influenced by African heritage and the experience of slavery, emphasizes communal living, oral storytelling, and a rich tradition of music and dance. These cultural expressions, sometimes perceived as informal or unstructured by Indo-Caribbeans, can lead to misunderstandings. The historical context amplifies these cultural clashes. The legacy of colonialism, which stratified societies based on race and origin, has left a lingering effect on how these communities interact. The Indo-Caribbeans, initially brought in as indentured servants to replace slave labor, were seen as upholding colonial structures, creating historical tension with the Afro-Caribbean population. Transitioning into the realm of social and economic factors, the interplay between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities reveals deeper complexities. Historically, these groups were positioned differently within the colonial economy, which has had lasting implications. The Indo-Caribbean community, primarily brought to the Caribbean as indentured laborers in the 19th century, was initially involved in agricultural work, especially in the sugar plantations. Over time, their economic participation diversified, with many moving into trade, business, and professional sectors. This economic mobility, however, was often perceived as a consequence of aligning with colonial powers, thus creating a sense of social separation from the Afro-Caribbean community. The Afro-Caribbean community's economic history is marked by the brutal legacy of slavery. Post-emancipation, they faced significant challenges in gaining an economic foothold due to systemic inequalities and limited access to resources. Despite these obstacles, the Afro-Caribbean community made substantial contributions to various sectors, including agriculture, arts, and politics. However, economic disparities persisted, often leading to perceptions of socioeconomic competition between the two communities. Additionally, political dynamics have played a crucial role in shaping these relations. In several Caribbean nations, politics have been influenced by racial and ethnic loyalties, further entrenching the divide. Policies and governmental decisions sometimes favored one group over the other, exacerbating tensions and fostering an environment of mistrust and rivalry. These social and economic factors, intertwined with the historical and cultural context, create a complex web of relations between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities. Understanding these dynamics is crucial in addressing the challenges and moving towards a more inclusive and equitable society. Although there is a divide, there has been a focus on the efforts and initiatives aimed at fostering understanding and unity between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities. These endeavors are crucial in overcoming historical divisions and building a cohesive Caribbean society. Efforts to bridge the cultural divide have taken various forms. Cultural exchange programs, where members of both communities participate in each other's festivals and celebrations, have been instrumental in fostering mutual respect and appreciation. Educational initiatives that incorporate the histories and cultures of both communities into the curriculum play a significant role in building awareness and understanding from a young age. Inter-community dialogues and forums have also been effective in addressing misconceptions and biases. These platforms allow for open discussions and sharing of experiences, helping to break down barriers and build empathy. Additionally, collaborative community projects focusing on common issues like environmental conservation, education, and health have brought individuals from both communities together, working towards shared goals and interests. The journey to bridge the cultural divide between the Indo-Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean communities is ongoing and requires continuous effort and commitment. By embracing our shared history and respecting our differences, we can forge a path toward a more inclusive and harmonious Caribbean society. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the cultural divide in the Caribbean. If you found this topic as fascinating as I do, please like this video and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful content. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, so please leave a comment below. Let's continue this important conversation and work together toward understanding and unity. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.